Hello, this is Mark Wildman of Wildman Athletica, and today we are going to talk about my favorite lunge, the hunter's lunge, also called a hunter squat. The hunter's squat is not something that you will see in a lot of programs. I only know like maybe one or two guys who even practice these. Usually free runners. I know a couple of free runners who practice versions of these because they load the VMO in a very realistic way. I call this a hunter squat, but you will hear people call this a close lunge as well, or a tactical lunge. We're going to do the static version of this first, because static is usually the easiest thing to learn. I have never seen this exercise done in a gym or taught by like a normal coach, because this kind of breaks a lot of rules that people tell you not to do. What we're gonna do, we're gonna take our normal position and we are going to go between a normal squat and a lunge. This does a lot of weird things to the dynamics of your legs, but I find this to be one of the most useful versions of a squat lunge. If you grew up in the country, then you will recognize this as a movement that you would do in hunting when stalking. People who live in the city probably never do this, but it's a super cool, very, very, very human movement, and you should probably be good at it. So like all of our stagger stance positions, there are going to be 4 versions of this. Left foot, ipsilateral, left foot, contralateral, right foot, ipsilateral, right foot, contralateral. We're going to do the no weight version of it first, and then we will do the kettlebell version. First version of this, we are going to point our feet straight ahead because that's the way we walk. We are going to step back. What we are looking for here is our toe and our knee to be equal in one line. And you will recognize this as a resting position. That's what it is. It is a position that you used to use when you would come up on the edge of a field or the edge of a cliff, and you need to rest, get low, and look out at your surroundings. You can very much envision every hunter-gatherer doing this exact movement all the time. Toes and knees are equal. The non-weighted version, we are going to have our hands in front of us, and we are going to stand all the way up. Like our normal static lunge, we are going to stand up until our front leg is straight. We're going to pull our kneecap all the way up. Our back leg is also straight. It is not going to be bent. We're going to drive straight up with this back leg. You'll probably feel some stretch in the front of this hip. We're going to squeeze our glutes, pull in our belly, and breathe behind the shield. Back down, hands in front, drive up, lock out both legs, squeeze the glutes. Down, up. Lock out both legs, squeeze the glutes. We have the static version of this first because there's a lot of weird stuff happening here. And if we start moving our feet around before we're good at this, who knows what's going to happen. At the bottom, what you will notice is we're doing that thing they tell you to never do in the gym, which is drive our knee forward beyond the vertical line of our toe. And for people who have flat feet, you will be moving this little joint down here. When you get a knee injury or you get ankle injuries, you tend to have to do rehab on this muscle and this joint right down in here. We have our feet wide, pointed straight ahead, drive all the way straight up, lock out. When we switch to the other side, it's a super small step. The first rep, we always reset. Toes equal with our knee. Sit back as far as you can, make your spine vertical. I like to have my hands in front because when I'm doing this exercise, I am always front loaded. Lock out the front leg, lock out the rear leg. Feel a stretch in the front of the hip, squeeze the glutes, breathe behind the shield. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna add the kettlebell in here, and we are gonna turn this into a front loaded position. Front single arm rack on both sides. There is an ipsilateral and a contralateral version of this. Depending on which leg is forward, contralateral, ipsilateral. We're gonna pick up the weight the way we normally pick up the weight with a good, clean technique. Watch all the clean videos. Grab the L of your thumb to the L of the kettlebell. Grab, wrap, push the weight back, bring it up. Rack position at the top. Breathe behind the shield. Squeeze the glutes. If your glutes are not on, you are definitely doing it wrong. Take one leg, move it back to where you think it should go. The point of the kettlebell is going to force us to keep good crown to coccyx alignment. We are going to go down, resting position, Right now, we're gonna call this Ipsi lateral load, same side load. Weight on the lead leg side. We get down to this position, we don't wanna be leaning forward. We wanna lean back as much as we can. Push our rib cage down, stand up, squeeze the front leg, squeeze the back leg, squeeze the glutes. Now we're just going to get the weight to the other side any way that doesn't get us killed or hurt. Same thing. Now it's going to be contra. Opposite hand to leg. Point our rear foot straight ahead as we can. Push down through the big toe palm and the second toe palm of the foot. Down. Lean back as much as you can. Breathe behind the shield. Stand all the way up. Squeeze glute, lock leg, tuck the tailbone, push the rib cage down. This is a simple exercise. It is not an easy exercise. If you do normal squats and normal lunges, this is going to be a little bit different. Normal gym trainers will tell you that these types of positions are bad. I very much disagree because these positions exist in the real world. Therefore, they should be trained. You'll see this position a lot in tactical scenes in movies where guys are using weapons and they are moving through spaces, and you'll see guys stack up and you can see guys go down to this position. They're getting up and getting down into this position, and this is a position of rest. You can wait while keeping your spine vertical and keeping the weapon on target so that they can then stand up and start to move. This is one of those things that is not commonly taught, but definitely should be taught, because you will see guys get all armored up in plates and helmet and rifle, and they will get down, and then it says go, and they're supposed to get up and move smoothly, and you see this. And it does not look cool. We want it to look cool. We want it to be good. We know hunter-gatherers did it, and we know that it's useful for modern tactical scenarios. Tactical scenarios are used in movies, therefore it's part of my job, therefore it's part of the training. You should know this, practice it. All the versions, left leg forward, right leg forward, ipsilateral, contralateral, and we're gonna start at first with the kettlebell. This has been Mark Wildman of Wildman Athletica.